Gate was 234,725. The fight of the night was Miller versus Chiesa. Yeah, all right. Yep. Performance of the night was Rose Namajunas and Tim Mean. Congratulations to all of them. Casey went to the hospital and his eye is fine. He's good. Who has the first question?
Well, that was my first question, so thanks for clearing that up for me. Let's start with Mike, if we could. I know how excited you were coming into this fight. Jim it looked like having some initial success on the feet. Maybe had you hurt a little bit. How was the fight playing out? I mean, were you having any trouble to start with?
He never had me hurt, but I was just kind of I kept it in the back of my mind that Jim's toughest in the first round. You know, even in the fights where he comes up short, he always has a phenomenal first round. Always gets a close sub attempt. You know, I don't think he ever really caught me with a good punch. You know, but once he took my back, I wasn't going to burn much energy trying to get out. I'm going to let him have his and then, you know, play catch up. I always fight better the longer a fight goes. So I knew that, you know, I'll give him his one round of fame, but I knew sooner or later I'd end up catching him.
And you said before the fight how important it is after this to get a ranked opponent. I mean, do you feel like people have been slow to give you the respect that you deserve?
I don't really care if the people give me the respect or not. It's all about these guys. You know what I mean? I won the toughest season of The Ultimate Fighter. There's a murder's row of guys from my season that are in the UFC right now, having a lot of success, and you know, here I am. You know, I just beat the 14th ranked guy in the world, and you know, I think I deserve that spot, maybe more. And I just want to fight ranked guys from here on out. I want to fight the best in the world. I want to be the best in the world.
There's a lot of big lightweight fights coming up over the next couple days and weeks. Are there names that you're looking at? Is there fights that I know you said you want somebody ahead of you, basically?
You know, the only guy that doesn't have a fight right now is Dariush. I don't really particularly have my sights set on him, but I'm just the type of guy that I really pay attention to my division. But I don't care who you are. If you got a number next to your name, I want to fight you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
If I could just quickly for Tim, obviously a great win for you tonight. Started out looking kind of like your volume versus his power. How are things playing out the way you thought they would?
Well, my power won, so we'll just go with that. But, you know, Howard's just a real strong guy. You know, I knew he was going to shoot takedowns right away. I seemed to hit people and change their mind to want to strike with me. But I think the important thing is that Dana said I got a bonus. Is that right?
You did. You won it, kid.
Boom.
Nasty
So,
knockout.
you know, I'm just happy to be here. You know, I'm happy to get the phone calls. I'm going to make the best I can out of every opportunity. I have a great camp there in Albuquerque at Fit and HB. We're kind of under the radar, but my striking coach, Arlene Sanchez-Vaughn, we've been working a lot on those little short hooks, little fast hooks, and I just have good power in my hands. You know, you look at me, you judge a book by its cover, and I put you to sleep. So,
how quickly can you fight again?
You know, it's all up to Tom Bond and Joe Silva. I'll be right back in the gym, so, you know, it is what it is. I can make weight at 170, really not going to say easy, but I get the job done, and I'm just happy to be here.
And just, Dana, if I could quickly for you, because it ties into him, Wonder Boy had a fight in 3 weeks. Are you guys still trying to get somebody for him at 195, or has that been moved somewhere?
Wonder Boy?
Yeah,
he's got a fight.
Okay.
Fight's made.
I don't remember if it was announced or not.
Me neither.
Okay. Fair enough. And then I wanted to ask you one other question. We got a guy here in Aljamain Sterling, made it very clear he was fighting out his contract. We had a guy, Benson Henderson, did the same thing. As a promoter, can you give us an idea? Do you think this might be the norm, that guys are going to kind of test the free agent water, so to speak, where we really haven't seen in the past? And when guys do that, is that any indication of what you think of them?
Guys have done it in the past. Guys have tested the market before.
It's just becoming
and
a little more
there's been guys
prevalent.
that have left before. It's part of the business. Yeah. You know, I think we made him an offer. He didn't like the offer. So the way that it works is you go out and you test the market. Yeah, that's how it works. It's always been like that. This isn't new.
Thank you.
All right.
Question for Sage Northcutt. Sage, you came out blistering in your first fight, got the win so quick. Were you, in a weird way, happy to maybe get a little bit more time in the octagon tonight?
Well, I'm always trying to go out there and finish my opponent as quickly as possible. I didn't really realize or know that the octagon was going to be slightly smaller, so obviously my opponent got the takedown, and if I knew that the octagon was a little bit smaller, then I would have gone out there, maybe not even thrown a punch or a kick and just taken him down. But the fight went great, and it went awesome. I choked him out with the guillotine. So
there was a stand-up in the first round. The crowd booed a little bit. You have no control over it, but what did you think of the stand-up at that moment?
I think the referee's very smart, and all the referees, they know what they're doing. So it wasn't my call, so the referee made the decision, and it worked out great. I took my opponent back down right after that, and then went to the second round and finished him.
Obviously.
Did you think he was going to say something negative?
No.
No.
Thank you.
At 19,
Let me jump in. That stand-up was ridiculous. Okay? Should have never. He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have stood him up there. It wasn't that like Pfister was doing a lot of damage, but he was working from the top. Shouldn't have been stood up.
and at 19, 2 fights in the UFC. I mean, are you handling all this? You know, you seem pretty, head on your shoulders, but I mean, in your own head, are you handling all this pretty well?
Absolutely, yes, sir. So this is fun for me. It's actually an honor to even be here right now, same before Mr. White, all these awesome fighters, and be at the press conference, much less have a fight so soon after my UFC debut. So I'm having fun with it.
And a question for Aljamain. Aljo, another incredible performance. Obviously, we already mentioned the free agency thing. What kind of a statement do you feel like you made, A, for your contract, but also B, to the rest of the division?
Let's line them up, man. Let's line them up, and I'll keep choking them out one by one. That's the motto I'm going by. I got 3 fights, 3 finishes, and if I had my UFC debut on a little bit longer notice, I would have finished that one too, and I would have been 4 for 4. And man, I'm blessed with a wonderful team, and I'm filled with a lot of emotions right now because I went through a lot of adversity just to get to this fight. And I told myself, man, you can't go out there and pull out of a fight after you've been bitching and complaining about not having a fight for so goddamn long. And I was like, that was the last thing I was ever going to possibly do. And I'm just glad I stuck through it. And, man, it's just a blessing that I was able to go out there and put on such a dominating performance over another top 10 guy. And that's 2 in a row. And, man, like I said, whoever's next, line them up. I'm going to knock them down.
Obviously, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for your career, money-wise, career-wise. But with a win over the guy you got tonight, do you feel like you are the biggest threat to, whether it's Dominic, TJ, or whoever's right in front of you in the rankings?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I got my eye on that title fight in January. I know Faber's more than likely the next logical guy in line for the title shot. It just makes sense. Him having such a big rivalry with Cruz and Dillashaw. So it makes sense. That's the big money fight right there. And I think I'm the next guy in line. You got Rafael Sunsal. He's going on a 7-fight win streak right now, and he's injured, coming back from an injury. So maybe I go toe to toe with that guy next, or maybe Brian Caraway will stop hiding under Misha Tate's tit and come fight me.
Ouch.
A question for Michael Chiesa. Michael, we saw a lot of jiu-jitsu there while the fight lasted. It was a real back-and-forth battle. It looked like Jim a couple of times was rolling for a knee bar, was attacking a leg, and there at the end is where you were able to get the choke. It looked at the end of the fight like he was frustrated with himself, like he'd made a mistake. Did you sense a mistake that he made that opened up that opportunity for you?
Yeah, he signed the contract. That was his first mistake. I'll scramble and grapple with anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm probably the biggest lightweight in the division. I'm big. I'm strong. I make weight every time, and I think guys just kind of underestimate my strength. And Jim's a dangerous guy. He'll roll for a limb, a leg, an arm, a neck. It doesn't matter. But that was kind of his first mistake. You don't roll for a leg on me. I mean, I'll let you pop my knee out of socket, but you're gonna get bombed on and get your neck grabbed. So that's kind of how it panned out. Worked out well for me. Can't complain.
You also made a very concerted effort after the fight, the post-fight interview, to not only speak directly to the media, but directly to Dana White, that you wanted top 15 contenders from here on out. I want to ask you, has that been something that's been brewing in your mind for a while, that you needed to start speaking to that direct effort?
No, I've been saying the same thing since I freaking got on The Ultimate Fighter. I want to fight the best in the world. Why the hell would I get in the UFC to fight scrubs? I want to fight tough guys. I want to win big. Win big or lose big. I mean, why be here if you want to try and find an easy fight? Jim Miller's a tough guy. It was supposed to be the main event.
That's what he's pissed about.
That's what I'm pissed about. But
I owe him a main event.
He owes me a main event. Either way, I'm just happy to be here. It's not every day that a normal blue-collar guy can complain to Dana White about getting something. I'm pretty blessed, pretty fortunate. But, yeah, I only want to fight a guy if they got a number next to their name, and that's it.
A question for Sage Northcutt. Sage, you were sure to give a pretty impressive promo specifically for the UFC's Fight Pass digital platform at the end of your fight. This is obviously a new form of media that they're looking to grow. Would you be happy if, for the time being, the next couple of fights moving forward, you could sort of become the face of Fight Pass as they do more and more Fight Pass cards?
That'd be awesome. I wouldn't mind that. UFC Fight Pass is amazing, so I'm happy to fight for UFC Fight Pass and be fighting for the UFC in general.
Did you think he was going to say something negative?
I was just wanting to see how many times he would say UFC Fight Pass in the answer. And finally, question for you, Dana. Obviously, we had a major development in the UFC women's strawweight division tonight, particularly for Rose Namajunas. I mean, big things ahead for her. Can you give us a little bit of an update on, because we've got a couple of top 5 fighters who are in a little bit of limbo. We know Claudia Gadelia's got the injury. She was supposed to face Joanna. But also Carla Esparza's been missing in action for a little bit. So do you have an injury update on Claudia and also what you're hearing from Carla Esparza when she might...
Claudia is ready to go. Claudia
Okay.
is healed up and ready to go, and that will be the next fight.
Okay, for Joanna. And then do you know anything about Carla?
No, I don't know where Carla's at.
Okay. Since Paige VanZant just joined us, if I could get a question in. Tonight, it's tough to say that when you suffer a loss that there's anything positive to take from it. But, I mean, surely you heard the crowd just like the rest of us did. I mean, they were really rallying behind you. I think a lot of people really admired the effort you put forth. So just looking at that, can you take some positives out of that?
No. I wanted to win. Yeah, definitely. I got outclassed in every way. So just get back with my team and game plan and work on my technique.
How do you feel? Do you feel like you could return to action sooner rather than later?
I do. I'm sad, but I'm fine.
Thank you.
Just a quick one for Dana. I just wanted to clarify. With Aljamain, you said he's going to test the market. So, are you guys? Does that mean you guys aren't going to make him another offer? That means he's going to go and get another offer from another competing promotion, and then you guys
I'm
are
pretty sure the way that it works is we made him an offer. He's not happy with the offer, so he goes out and shops and then brings that offer back to us, and we either have the right to match or not.
But no chance you make an offer before that, given his performance tonight?
I like the kid. I like the kid a lot. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And then for Paige, what did you expect going out there? When did things start to turn for you, and what do you think is the main lesson to be learned moving forward?
I guess when I got hit, I got rocked pretty bad. Just technique, I'm new. Get my technique better.
Thank you.
We done? Is it over?
Mike, you talked about being on The Ultimate Fighter and it, being a very tough season for you. But, do you feel that things are panning out the way you expected them to after? Did you think you would be further along sooner, or is this the timeline you expected?
Obviously I've had a couple hiccups. I had the Masvidal fight, which was, that was a good performance, in the light of it being a loss. Had the controversial stoppage against Lozon. Aside from that, I've been pretty dominant. Things don't always pan out the way you first envision it. Obviously after I won TUF, I was like, sweet, I'm going to win 5 fights, be a champion in no time. And had a couple hiccups, but, here I am. And I can't wait to go on MMA Junkie and look and see the rankings change and see that I'm finally in the top 15. So I'm just happy to be where I'm at now. And I've learned from those losses. And like I keep telling everyone, I'm going to put my best foot forward. And I'm looking to become a champion. I'm going to make my statement in the next year.
Now, I know that you are very loyal to your team, but have you dabbled at all? Have you gotten some looks at some other gyms at all?
There's only one other place I'll go. Sick Jitsu's my home. Rick Little, he's been with me for 8 years. The guy who literally took me from a snot-nosed 20-year-old kid and got me in the UFC, turned me into an Ultimate Fighter champ. I'll never leave his side. But I've worked with John Whittle in the past with my camp for Francisco Trinaldo when they left for Korea. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to Sam's fight in Korea, so I came back to Syndicate pretty much just to work with John and his team, and I found a good flavor. You know what I mean? I'll always be loyal to Washington. I'll always be loyal to my team, but John's a part of it now, and I feel like I'm finally putting the pieces together, and that's how it's going to be from here on out. When you see me walk in that cage, it's going to be Rick, Sam, and John, and that's how it's going to be.
Nice, congrats. And Paige, I want to ask you a question. You've been so composed leading up to this and handled the pressure, which there had to have been. Can now that it's happened, can you admit that maybe there was too much going into this?
No. There was no pressure. I'm just new, you know?
Yeah.
I got a lot to learn. Just working with my team. Try not to cry, guys. Just working with my team, getting my technique better. You can't just be aggressive to win fights, so.
And how are you feeling physically? Your arms did things that seemed unhuman. Can you feel it now? Was it an adrenaline rush? Did you feel it during the fight?
I didn't feel it during the fight. I might feel it tonight. But I feel good. I feel good. I got a little cut, but other than that, I feel great athletically. I wasn't prepared for that fight.
Dana, you know that people are going to say to you, Ronda has lost, Paige has lost, two women that you have been promoting highly, and that you're probably really effing pissed. But how do you feel? You know people are going to say that. Come on, you know that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it? And
This is the win and lose business. This is what these guys do. They go in, they take fights. We told Paige that, you're young in the sport. She almost beat the shit out of Sean Shelby at the offices for telling her that. She's aggressive. She's a competitor. And if you doubted it, you saw it tonight, man. She proved it tonight. She's got the dog in her, man. There was no quitting her. I told her tonight, I said, you'll learn more from this loss than you will in all your wins in the past. And, you saw tonight what she's got. She'll get better and she'll keep working.
And I apologize if you mentioned this initially, but Theodoro's cut, how bad is he? How bad is it? And did he go get it fixed up?
I'm sure he's fine, yeah. Yeah, it was a nasty cut, but yeah. We got Dr. Shu in the back. The guy's a genius. He did a good job on hers, too. He's very, very good. He's the man.
Thank you.
For Maheta, please. Obviously, a very aggressive opponent tonight, came out throwing a lot of kicks. Did that take you by surprise at how forward he came and how many kicks he threw in the opening round?
Seu adversário foi muito agressivo hoje, te chutou. Isso te surpreendeu com a agressividade dele?
Não me surpreendeu. Os chutes dele não estavam me afetando em nada. Então, eu sabia que aquilo ali era só uma finta para, na verdade, o que ele queria era fazer o jogo de grade, o jogo de grappling, aplicar o wrestling dele. Eu sabia desde o início que o que ele queria era fazer isso.
No, it didn't really surprise me. I mean, the kicks weren't really affecting me. I knew that he was feinting to put me up against the cage, and that's exactly what I trained for.
I wonder, I know you'd probably prefer to kickbox than to strike, but there was a lot of wrestling involved. But I do wonder if you took any pride in that, in knowing that you've been working on your wrestling and you were able to show a lot of improved wrestling in this fight.
É claro que você queria ir para a trocação, mas você mostrou que você pode fazer wrestling na luta agarrada também. Foi bom você poder mostrar isso?
Foi bom. A galera tem uma impressão, acha que eu só tenho a luta de Muay Thai. Mas, na verdade, quando a gente entra ali, é um evento de MMA, então a gente tem que estar pronto de tudo. E eu estou treinando bastante, aonde eu tenho minhas deficiências. Então, eu tento melhorar a cada dia para tentar surpreender meus adversários.
Yeah, it was good. People seem to think that I only have my Muay Thai, so it was good to go in there like that. And I've been working a lot on my wrestling and my abilities overall.
Thank you, Mehta. And now that we have Rose here with us, first of all, congratulations on your win, of course. Incredibly dominant performance for you tonight, probably maybe one of the best of your career, if not the best. What do you attribute the success to?
My talent, first of all, my will to win, and then obviously my coaches and my teammates behind me. Just that perfect storm. And then obviously all my experiences put together. It's just, I'm just ready to get to the top.
I got to ask you, as dominant as you were, what was your mindset like as things are playing out over and over and you're getting her in bad position after bad position and she just won't go away? Was there any part where your kind of will was being questioned? What's going through your head?
Yeah, a couple times I was a little frustrated, but I kept hearing my corner just reaffirming my thoughts and just let the finish come. Don't force it. When I force things, it just doesn't go well. So, but I also knew beforehand that she was going to be flexible, and I knew that there was going to be submissions there, but it might not be finished right away. So, just everything that I knew beforehand going into it, after studying her and knowing what I'm good at and what she's good at, it just all came together.
And obviously, after you celebrated quickly, but then you went right back over to check on her. And I wonder if there was any part that had any kind of like sympathy or emotion. I mean, you know how much hype there was around her, and it seemed kind of like a familiar position. Maybe there was a lot of hype around you, and then you had to go through a defeat and deal with it. Did you kind of feel anything for her in that position?
Yeah, I feel like the position that she's in right now is where I was in a year ago. Similar. I shouldn't say nobody's the same, but I could feel for her, and she showed a lot of heart in this fight. So, I know she's gonna come back real strong.
And last question: the hair was obviously so much of a discussion point going in. Is that the new style moving forward?
I really like it, but I think I want to try maybe play with different styles, maybe a cute mohawk or something. I don't know, just whatever. But I do like it a lot, so we'll see.
Yes, a question for Tim Means. First of all, congratulations on a great performance and on a bonus. There was a little bit of controversy in the first round, a little bit of a fence grab when he was going for a takedown. Was there this part of the adrenaline, or what was going on there?
Well, no, he caught me and I didn't want to get dropped on my head, so I grabbed the cage so I didn't get slammed. Gotta get one warning at least, But he got the takedown there, and I was just being resilient and got back to my feet. But I ain't stupid, I was pretty high and I didn't want to get knocked out on the slam,
And you mentioned Matt Brown after the fight, halted a bit of a win streak there. Should that not happen, anyone else in particular that really stands out for you as a potential opponent?
There's a whole bunch of sharks in this division. I think my style, I lean on my aggression and I lean on just wanting to get in your face and make it a war. We've been working a lot on technique, making people miss, but I look forward to beating guys who beat me, So there's a few guys I can name off, but other than that, nobody really stands out. There's too many killers to really call out anybody.
Okay, and a question for Dana. Andreas Ståhl lost tonight, and in his first fight in the UFC, he broke his jaw. In this fight, it looked almost like something might have happened there as well. Did you get any information about potential injury there?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, and I hate to backtrack a little bit, but we didn't get a chance to talk to you at Cormier Gustafsson. Could I just get your thoughts on Alexander Gustafsson's performance in that fight and sort of what's in the card for him in the future?
On what performance?
Alexander Gustafsson against Daniel Cormier.
Oh, Gustafsson?
Yeah.
Yeah, another one. I mean, it was another one of those. He was in another absolute war, and right there again. Those got to be tough for him, man. But he's such a talented fighter, and he's right there with the two best guys in the world. Every time that title's right in front of him, and he's like half a round or a round away from getting it, and it just slips away. I feel for the guy. He's a good guy. I like him.
And this was the first fight of this, crazy, or the first event of this crazy UFC weekend going on. Now that the first event is said and done, what are your impressions, and how do you feel about the next two coming up?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight's fights were awesome. You never know. Things can look good on paper, but it's awesome when it plays out the way that it looks on paper, and it did tonight.
And just a final question for Rose. I'm sure you heard about the bonus. Any ideas of what you'll be spending that on?
I've been saying that I want to buy a house really bad. That's my dream, so I'm going to start looking right now. We'll see what's available. I know the Denver housing market is pretty crazy right now, so hopefully that's in my future.
Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Question for Rose. Coming off the Ultimate Fighter, you had, you did have a lot of hype coming into that fight with Carla. You had to go through the loss. You said this is a new year, a new you. What has been the biggest difference? Was it just the training? Was it a mindset thing? What is the biggest difference for you right now?
The list is just endless with the transformation that I've went through. But I could say the main thing is that I've just been focusing on me, and I mean that's just a really general statement, but it just that's the only thing that matters is I put myself first and help others after that, whatever's left over, and just focusing on not paying attention to too much of what's going around me and people talking and this and that, like really just monitoring all the pressures, and like I haven't been on my phone, not at all. So that's like one huge help. It's just because when you start to like look at the media and you look at things that people are saying, like you don't listen to yourself, and that's the main person that knows. So that knows in your position. So that's just one little thing. I guess I've just also been more honest with myself and constantly self-awareness, soul searching, and constantly trying to improve every day as a person and just trying to be a good person.
You obviously earned the title shot that you got against Carla at that time. Now off this win, obviously Paige had a lot of hype. Obviously, you're number 3 in the world. You know, it's tough to ask you where to go from here, but I mean, do you want to jump back in the title picture? Are you more interested in maybe getting a rematch with Carla now? I mean, I'm just curious, like, where your head's at, because obviously at number 3 in the world, there's not a lot of direction you can go.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about right now. So, I mean, I definitely, I feel that I'll be ready for the title shot, you know, versus whoever's going to have it by the time. But I also want to get a little vacation time in and just sit back and enjoy the holidays. So, you know, but if there's an opponent for me to, like, before that, like one more and then the title, or just the title right away, it just depends on how things line up. I don't really want to necessarily jump on it too fast. There were some things I felt like I could have improved in the fight. I've been more comfortable in certain spots, and it just wasn't, I mean, it was definitely a great performance, but I feel like I can always improve. So, like I said, I don't want to be overly excited or anything like that.
And one question for Paige. Paige, obviously, you showed, you know, tremendous heart, tremendous toughness tonight. Obviously, that's, you know, it's a shallow victory when you don't come away with the win. But you obviously have talked a lot about your team, your family, the people around you that are giving you support. Do you feel like that is going to be a big thing in your comeback now? Because, you know, you have teammates that have gone through this, that have had to fight through, you know, tough losses, and I know they've been supportive of you in, you know, in wins. I assume that's going to be a big part of your comeback as well.
It'll be huge, yeah. I mean, I'm ready to get back in the gym as soon as possible. I feel great still. Obviously, it took a little bit of damage to my face. But yeah, I want to get back in there as soon as possible. I have the heart. I have the aggression. I don't have the technique yet. And I think everyone's known that.
Just one quick one for Sage. John Eddick said something kind of odd on the broadcast tonight, that you're not allowed to use the internet or you don't use the internet. Can you clarify? Is that something that you told him, or can you just clarify that for us?
That's funny. I can use the internet. I have to use it for my schoolwork too.
So where did he get that? Do you know? Was he just making a joke, or did you share anything like that with him?
No, he must be making a joke. That's funny.
None of us should be allowed to use the internet.
No.
Take one more question.
I'm going to say you need the internet for Fight Pass. So if you're going to promote Fight Pass, you need to be able to use the internet.
Good point. Any more? We'll take one more if we got one. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.